Hey everyone, welcome back to Drive Time Coffee Chats. I'm Luke and this is Jimmy.
Hey guys.
So as we cruise along the highway, we've got plenty of time to kill and we thought we'd just give you a few gold nuggets that we reckon we can share with you on a whole range of different topics. Now today, we're going to cover when you're opening a cafe, when should you engage with a coffee supplier? Now the simple answer is 10 weeks. And the reason it's 10 weeks is because you're going to spend probably 2 weeks interviewing different coffee suppliers. You might have done a Google search and found a couple of companies you like, your friends have recommended things, and it takes a bit of time of backwards and forwards to get a lot of answers on these specific things. And what you want to consider are things like layout and design.
Equipment.
Yep. What is the deal, free on loan, or are you buying the gear?
There's often a lot of extra services that you can have access to that you might not realise.
And training pre and post the installation of your coffee gear. So these topics are things that we do for our customers, and we feel any good coffee supplier should be able to offer a bit more value than just a bag of beans. If you're not getting anything other than a bag of beans, hey, consider looking at other coffee suppliers, or is that actually just what you want? Someone to give you beans and not help you with your business. So in terms of layout and design, how do we help our customers? Well, we've got a few other videos out on our YouTube channel which look at workflow and how you get the customer to come in and out, how you make a cup of coffee and produce food. So I'd highly advise looking at those videos. And on these other topics, Jimmy, we've got a whole lot of other videos as well that would just expand on these topics a bit further.
Yeah.
So the simple thing about layout and design is until you know how big your bench is, how much space you have, where the customer is going to come and order from and the barista is going to stand, all of these play a huge factor in your power, your water, and all the services that are needed to run that coffee gear. So if you're not sure about it and your designer or architect isn't sure, and to be honest, they don't always understand cafes. We've had some doozies over the years.
All the trades.
That's it. Getting someone that actually has worked in these fields and giving you information is super important to make sure you don't have a bad layout and design. So then you go to equipment, Jimmy.
So while you're thinking about your layout and design, it's a little bit of chicken before the egg. You're trying to work out what equipment you're going to need. Can you fit that on your bench? And there's a lot of things that we spend time with people looking at that's really coffee specific. Standard bench heights versus allowing for even the waste to be able to go through a hose to not butt up against the fridge underneath. Those simple little things that we've just saved people so much headaches. They're like, man, I didn't even think of that. And unfortunately, we've seen the results of going to do an install and someone's just missed out on one little bit of information from their trades, and it changes the installation. We have to move the machine, or we have to actually get the trades back. So being able to choose your equipment based on your layout and design, it's getting in early, and us being able to advise on that is really helpful. It can save you time and money later, and that equipment's also going to dictate
Well, how much volume you've got.
What are you going to do?
Are you need a 2 group, 3 group? How many grinders?
What's the other video on do you need a 2 group or a 3 group? But you might not know as well. Like I find that I'm able to help people predict, I guess, volumes they might do, what equipment's actually necessary, what equipment's probably overkill and going to cost some money. So yeah, you can definitely get some good insider information as to what other people are doing. Yeah. I think people like to know what's worked for other people. I mean, I've got 50 kilo accounts on 2 group machines that are perfectly happy. I've got, so...
They got a couple of grinders and an auto tamper as well.
Exactly, they got other things that add value. So equipment, your coffee supplier is going to have some equipment that's going to work for their coffee as well.
Definitely.
We know what coffee works for us and what machines works for our coffee to make it taste the best. So that's the other part of equipment for sure.
Yeah.
So what's the deal?
Yeah, what is the deal? Well, you'll always hear about everyone gets their coffee equipment for free. In a perfect world, if you've got a basic coffee machine and a basic grinder and a low volume amount of coffee, let's say about 10 or so kilos a week, yeah, you're going to get a good machine and a grinder that's going to facilitate that need. The minute you need to do anything over and above that, to either start showing a specialty coffee scenario in a cafe, you're going to need a higher end piece of coffee equipment. You might need multiple grinders for single origin, one for decaf, one for your main bean. And then, as we always put in our accounts, an automatic tamper to keep consistency. There's a lot of money there. Like if you say a Lamazocco 2 group, 2 grinders, an auto tamper, we're over 25 grand worth of gear. So if you're thinking about, do I need to spend that $25,000 and own that gear? Can the coffee supplier give me that gear? And basically it's factored into your bean price of when you're buying your coffee week to week. You could invest that 25 grand in your new counters, a paint job or a renovation. But if you've kind of factored in spending 25 grand of your own cash in your cafe, and then you realize that a coffee supplier could help you with that on a contract term, you can free it up and have maybe some better things that are going to add so much more value to a cafe. So you don't want to leave that to the last minute when you can't invest that money back into your business if it's available.
And I think that word investment is the key word. Like we really invest in businesses, and I think the coffee industry is lucky that coffee suppliers are willing to really invest in your business. We make sure that it's a great business relationship. There's a lot of upfront cost for us, and we build some great relationships so that those years of good business together pays off for everyone. But yeah, you need to know what the opportunity is, and not everyone's got the same deals, and so the research there, but also just make sure you're doing your research and making sure you're working with a supplier that's going to give you all the answers and give you all the advice that's best for your business, not just for them.
Correct, yeah.
That honesty, I think, is really helpful.
Yeah, so they basically, just to sum those up, it's you're buying the gear, it's free on loan, or a lease of coffee gear that you might have with a financial company that essentially you'll own the gear over time and pay that off to a bank or something. And then you've got rental, because your coffee supplier may rent you coffee gear as long as you do buy the coffee, but you don't actually own that gear over the long period of time.
Which, if you're not the kind of person that wants to sign up for a 3-year contract, then there's always different options. So don't think that there's one way that everything has to happen. We can reduce. There's ways of reducing time frames or equipment costs and stuff. So, but you've got to ask the questions. You've got to know what the opportunities are, for sure.
And allowing to future-proof your business as well. Maybe going out and buying a 2-group machine isn't ideal when you launch with us and you start hit 50 kilos after 6 months, and you've got to really go and buy a 3-group machine. You might not be able to do that. So having a bit of flexibility
is good.
Is always good.
Yeah.
So Jimmy, additional services,
Additional services, and I love additional services. So I guess when you come to us, like I've got a background in graphic design, so I'll often help our customers with whether it be logos or menus or naming, and that's a little add-on that I can bring to Artisti, and that's something of value to you and your business, and I think you've got to look at how coffee suppliers are supporting you in your business holistically, whether it's business advice. I know that the floor plan and layout stuff has been really pivotal in our business, in obviously setting cafes up for success, but also people just being surprised that that's even something that we can help with, and you should look into what other services your supplier can give you, so that you've got more opportunity for time saving, for cost saving. Can that be, Luke's had some great conversations with people about, from a business point of view, from an owner point of view, whether it's tax management or just, some of the conversations that I've heard have really saved people along their journeys. So definitely attaching yourself to a coffee supplier that's going to add value to your business, and not just on the opening. Be mindful that there is a long-term relationship there, that look for the coffee supplier that can add that long-term gain as well.
Yeah, definitely. Someone that's engaging in the industry, keeping up to date with what's happening in the coffee trends, but also, I mean, we've gone through a massive couple of years there with COVID, unfortunately. So we became such a big resource to our clients, just knowing about all those changes and QR codes, and our customers gave us the feedback that we were their best source of information for that kind of stuff.
You will rely on your coffee supplier. They're a very integral part of your business. It's what your customers are drinking and what's helping build your cafe. So it's not always the greatest to just be able to get a bag of beans and save yourself some dollars and stuff. The relationship with your coffee supplier can be detrimental to your business. So and we saw that over COVID, where people were really relying on us to give them that honest feedback and that understanding of where the industry was going. We helped people turn around into really fast takeaway services, whether that was changing equipment or that was helping them change the layout of their cafes to suit COVID and takeaway. But yeah, that's just the ongoing support that you would hope to get from your coffee supplier for sure.
So in terms of time frame, we started with 10 weeks. The first 2 weeks we're just trying to assess people. It's going to take about 3 to 4 weeks just to get through that layout design, work out what kind of gear that you're after, then look at sort of branding and things like that. We haven't even got to the last part of training pre and post installation. So once we order a coffee machine, it can take 2 weeks for us to get that gear, bench test it. You might want to customise the paint or wrap it.
If it's even in Australia.
Correct.
Because with the COVID supply chain, we've seen shipments of Lamazocos land in Australia and be sold before they're even here. A lot of equipment's just not even available. Could be, long turnaround times, so you want to be on top of that.
Yeah, so we're kind of now sitting at 3 weeks, but you kind of need to have lots of things happening at the same time. So pre-training, you'd want to be in with your coffee supplier, learning how to make coffee easily 4 weeks out, and doing 2 to 3 sessions a week just to get the skill up. If you've never made coffee before, it really takes a bit of time to actually get milk properly and be able to froth that silkiness to be able to do a beautiful little heart, but also just get used to the rhythm of coffee, because you don't want to be clunky when you open. And then you've got the installation, which can take a good day. You might be delayed with some trades or something like that. And then after that installation, you really want to have at least 2 good sessions with yourself and your team to be familiar with the layout that has been built for your cafe specifically. You don't want to be practicing that on your customer, day one. Pretty much our rule of thumb is we don't want to install on a Friday, because everyone wants to start serving customers on the Saturday and Sunday. Huge mistake. You kind of want to open on a Tuesday, so you've got a couple of days of ironing out all those bugs before you hit your first weekend.
And that post-training, let's not forget, we want to make the perfect coffee, but we also need to make sure that you know how to take an order, you know how to fix an order, you know how to do all of the processes in the business. And again, that's something, if you watched our other videos on our takeaway processes, these are things that we're sharing with you because we see value in teaching people about these things. But these are all processes inside our what our cafe partners do. Also, how to clean your coffee machine properly on a daily schedule, on a weekly schedule. You can't train how to clean a coffee machine over the course of a month. In one day. It's an ongoing thing. So you need to understand there is an ongoing training there, and you want to make sure that you're going to see that supplier again, and you have access to answers. You've got someone on call. You've got, I think I mentioned it before, but like additional services. Do they have their own technician? I mean, that's an integral part of our business to have. I mean, Luke as a technician, as an owner, technician, barista, but also who sets the standard, but also having other technicians available on call. It seems like not necessarily it seems like a pretty regular thing now, but it's not. I'm surprised how many coffee suppliers don't have technicians, and then you've got a third party. You've got to make a relationship with another business and really trust them as well, because you don't want to go down mid-service on a Sunday morning. You want to make sure that we've taught you how to clean your machine well. It's not going to break down on a Sunday morning. You're doing that maintenance cleaning that we've learned and taught you. You've got technicians out there regularly doing servicing, maintenance servicing. We've set you up a schedule for your maintenance servicing. You're always on.
Yeah, so that's rolling that kind of plan out to maybe you as a business owner, but we actually need to make sure that all of your staff understand that.
Yeah.
And then they've got that same standard moving forward. So after you open and you're ready to trade for the first week or second week, coming back and actually making sure you get those follow-ups to make sure that firstly they're making coffee properly, but also they are cleaning it and then maintaining it for that quality cup of coffee.
Yeah. So all in all, I think when should you contact your engage with the coffee supplier? I think as soon as you can. I love to get in early. I love to be a part of the growth process. Don't feel like you're putting anyone else out by contacting them early. They might have some great advice. Just be mindful. If you're too early, then maybe the process can take a long time. But we like to talk to people as early as possible so that we can get an idea of what your plans are and start making plans for the future. So ideally, we've got 10 weeks. We've turned them around real quick, but we want to make sure that when you open, you're of the highest quality. So
so if you're going to add single origins, extra grinders for decaf, retail training, any alternative brewing. So if you want to have a batch brew or you want to start doing V60s or pour overs, that whole specialty coffee scene, push it out another 3 or 4 weeks. There is so much to learn in there if you want that to be an amazing product that you're going to serve to your customers.
Even if you hire experienced staff.
Correct.
Because those experienced staff still need to be assessed and make sure they know how to make it your way and not just the same as they did in their last job. So yes, experienced staff will kind of jumpstart you and give you a head start on experience, but just be mindful that there's still an X amount of training that's required, an X amount of knowledge and understanding to at least make sure that everyone's on the same page. So the more that you add to your business, the more time you should allow for that training and setup.
For sure. All right, I think that's about it, Jimmy.
That's it for me.
Yeah, thanks very much. Hope you got a couple of good gems out of that one. A lot of the content we're talking about today is a bit of a summary, and we've got some specific videos around those on our channel. So jump on the YouTube channel, search it, and you'll find some real detailed information there about this gear.
Yeah, put any comments you've got, any questions you've got in the comments below. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and hit the bell icon. And if you're in Australia and want to contact us directly, we'll put our contact details in the description below as well. We'd love to help out one-on-one with you if you want to work with us. So thanks again for being a part of our coffee community, and we'll see you on the next
Drive Time Coffee Chats.
Right.
Woo! Cheers.